Mikey, in the house. We're going to talk about a little something sweet real quick, right? We're going to talk about the beginning of the season, and we're going to talk about right now where we're at in the season, okay? At the beginning of the season, a couple of truths were thought to be, okay? And that was the fact that LA Lakers got Westbrook and something special was going to happen on the West Coast. And the Clippers got Kawhi Leonard, and everything was wrapping up to be a Lakers 1-2. Okay, it's 40-something games in. All right, a lot of teams are at the 43, 44 game mark. It's an 82-game season. This is where I start to see the engines are fully smooth and rile up and ready to roll. But at this current time, there's a lot of pain, guys. There's a lot of injuries going on. Age is showing through. Much respect to LeBron, still looking good. I know LeBron's still at the top of the conversation. Paul George is trying to work his way back. You got Kawhi Leonard trying to work his way back. I mean, there's so many injuries, okay? Dame Lillard injured. Now there's opportunity for some young bucks to come in, okay? And this really points out the depth of a team, one of the most important factors that makes you special. Beginning of the season, Lakers, Clippers, where are they now? Okay, look at this standings right now. Friday. I believe it's 114-22. Clippers and Lakers at the bottom trying to struggle to make the playoffs. This is with a Denver without Michael Porter Jr., a Dallas that's kind of been without Mr. Doncic. Utah's been healthy. That's why they look healthy with the record. Memphis been a solid all-around team, really changing the narrative of the three superstar pot. With what they have, even though Jaren Jackson is up there, if you're sleeping on them. Golden State, we know about them, boys. And to my surprise, okay, a team that I said would struggle to make the playoffs. I was incorrect in my team review. Phoenix Suns, 31-9. There's no turning back now, folks. They're going to hit the playoffs. They're going to hit the playoffs, okay? This is incredible to see. These are teams that don't have the big names, except Golden State, right? It's not as many big names as the Lakers and the Clippers. Minnesota is harping at the foot of the Clippers. Any more injuries to Kawhi or any of them boys, it's going to be trouble, and I think Clippers will be blown up. No doubt about it. If they don't hit something this year, Bomber's going to blow that team up. Portland, I say let yourself fall, man. Get some draft picks. Finally get some draft picks. Anthony Simon's ready. Dennis Smith Jr. is ready. Get some draft picks. Sacramento, wouldn't be surprised to see De'Aaron Fox on the trading block. All right, they did enough time with him and really haven't surrounded him with anything too special. Marvin Bagley was supposed to be that, really not getting the minutes. He's probably going to leave. Maybe it's a reset. New Orleans, anything's good for them. No Zion, not a lot of people playing. Brandon Ingram, tremendous year. Really developing their talent. They could be special. San Antonio, another developmental team. Oklahoma City, another developmental team. Houston, I'm a little bit disappointed, not because they're not in a playoff. I didn't think that would be the case. However, I did think there would be at least 12 or 13 on this list. They have the talent. All right, out of the three teams I just mentioned, from a developed talent perspective. Okay, I'm not saying that the guys they have aren't more talented, because there's a couple special guys on Oklahoma City that I'm really scared of. Darius Bazley, Povolsky, there's a 7'1" shooting. I mean, they got some talent. Giddy. I mean, Oklahoma City's scary, actually. They're very scary. Everyone's talking about the Cavs scenario. I talked about your boys on the Pistons possibly being there. Oklahoma City's another squad with that type. But let's just take a peek at Houston real quick, guys. Houston's loaded, man. I mean, when you look at the talent, they got a lot. They got a couple vets. Aaron Brooks is a shooter. Josh Christopher out of the draft looks like a good six-man. Garuba was a high draft pick, supposed to be a defensive phenom. Really hasn't gotten the minutes at 19. And Eric Gordon, the big vet, I think he moves. Jalen Green, tremendous rookie season. He's doing what I thought he would do. Giroux's there. I don't know if he plays. Kevin Martin Jr., 6'6". If he gets 2 more inches, he's only 21 still, guys. Believe that or believe it or not. Essentially, he came out of high school. Martin Jr., if he gets 2 more inches, 6'8", he's going to be a bona fide top power forward in this league from a defensive perspective. Big lead, run and jump athlete. I love him. Garrett Matthews, a shooter. Deshaun Nix, if you didn't know, is on this squad, okay? G Leaguing it up right now, but let's see what he brings to the table. Could be a potential point guard for them. Nwaba, defensive presence. Kevin Porter Jr., the dream, man. I love him, bro. Out of the Washington area. Queen, I don't too much, but shooter. Sagoon, great draft pick at center. Jason Tate, 230, a big, burly, smaller Ron Artest with more handle. Daniel Tice, another a run and jump athlete who can provide some rebounds. John Wall's not playing. Get traded, and your boy Christian Wood, an all-star. So they got a big three, I think, in Porter, Green, and Wood. No doubt about that. And then they have some small pieces. Center could be Sagoon. Point guard is a little bit sketchy. I understand Kevin Porter Jr. is playing that, and he's developing very well. I like him at that role. I'm not sure you got to keep him there, though. I'm not sure you not move him to the shooting guard, have him have a matchup issue, and then Jalen Green, at the three, and mix that up. Now, here goes a problem. Why they can't? Jalen Green hasn't got the weight yet. He's going to get it, but he doesn't have the weight yet. Still a smaller guy, needs to get his weight up, okay? Now, let's step back to the rankings and understand what's happening with the rest of the squads here as we look to the playoffs. Okay, what has to be done? Yeah, I went on a tangent, but let's refocus in here. All right, Clippers, Lakers. Okay, they need to make a trade. Okay, it needs to be a slight trade. John Wall, we talked about him, his availability. Clippers got to make a move here. I love Jackson. Okay, I love Jackson. I think you got to do a tandem of those two. Okay, you do a tandem of Jackson and Wall. That's enough firepower there. All right. It's just not working out right now for the squad, guys. It's not. It's not working out for the West Coast and the Clippers right now. I mean, they're struggling with injuries. Denver overachieving, strong lineup. Hate what they've done. Yes, I'm a Bobo fan. So even though he didn't play and it's not that much of an impact, I just don't like losing those X factor pieces, but Jeff Green's having a tremendous season. Aaron Gordon is solid, and of course Jokic, the big MVP, is doing MVP things still, 6th slot. Dallas, Porzingis, Doncic, Hardaway, tremendous. Could they add on a John Wall? Again, I'm looking at John Wall and all these guys. Eric Gordon, those type of wily vets make sense for teams like Dallas, Denver. Okay, Lakers. I told you about the trade. I've said it a million times. Portland, Lakers, make the swap. Okay, Lillard needs to go. I know he has like a couple weeks of injury. Sell while Lillard is low, and they're thinking about he's injured again, right? Sell it now and get Westbrook over, get a third party, and get that move because Westbrook's not working out. It just doesn't fit with this Lakers squad. He needs open targets. Portland would give him that. It will mess up the growth of Anthony Simons, though. They would have to find a trading partner. I'm not sure the Lakers don't look at De'Aaron Fox. I mean, I'm not sure he's not available. Because 3-point shot is such a viable thing in this, such an important thing in this league. None of those guys, Portland, neither Sacramento's De'Aaron Fox or Westbrook does that. So they could be available. All right, Denver, we talked about. Dallas, we talked about. Utah, they're just solid the way they are, man. I don't know what else they need. Solid all around team. Don't be surprised to see them sneak up. I think they're a better team than Memphis, and I think if there's a series, they take Memphis out. Memphis has been great coaching. John Moran's not the only player there, guys. Lautaro, Jaren Jackson, they're a cohesive team. That's the difference. They're a team ball, a total team compilation of players, okay? No one with a big ego, right? You got a lot of type Bs. John Morant's a borderline type B, man. He's a type A type player, but type B type teammate, which means he'll defer and he'll pass. Tremendous amount of respect to Memphis and where they're at. Golden State, I got them as the champions. I got them when they're fully running as the champions. But Wiseman needs to come back. Okay, we're seeing the defensive aspect that happens there. Wiseman and your boy Mr. Draymond Green need to do something. Golden Phoenix, overachieving. Wow, overachieving so much here. I gotta respect their talent. I gotta respect what I'm seeing mid-season here. This is crazy for me. It's crazy to see Phoenix this high up on the West Coast, and I'm just surprised. Could any of the four bottom, 12, 13, 14, 15, make it into the playoffs? Would be a tough run, man. They would have to have a 40-game win streak on some of these teams, guys, to really have a chance to make it in. All right? Maybe you can sneak in with a 30-game. Like Sacramento's probably the closest in fighting. Here goes the X factors. Minnesota, Portland. Minnesota, it's a come up year. It's a come up year for them. They have a pretty solid squad. Okay. Not sure who they beat out. It's so tough in the West. You would have to kick off Phoenix, but Chris Paul's proved his worth. Okay. That's what Minnesota is missing. The big trade is Ben Simmons for them. Okay. Ben Simmons needs to go over. Ben Simmons belongs on Minnesota if they can keep every single piece they have, minus Malik Beasley, who will probably be the centerpiece of that trade. Okay. And he makes sense to go with Joel Embiid, gives him a nice little shooting guard, small forward, can shoot the ball, can do a lot of different things. You know, Tobias Harris and him, and I think Tobias is going to be moved as well. So that's going to be interesting for Minnesota. They do have a shot, but it's going to be a long shot. They're going to have to beat up a few teams. The team, the from Dallas to Portland is pretty tight. It's pretty tight. And you got to include Minnesota because they're close too. All right, almost all of them are close. It's pretty tight. If I'm Portland, I'm selling. I don't want to make the playoffs this year. I'll be ousted in the first round. Sell it. Sell that team, okay? Let them go. Get a draft pick. See what you can get, all right? Minnesota, on the other hand, you got a lot of draft picks. All right, you got a lot of talent. You got a big four. You got Anthony Edwards, #1 pick. You got Karl Anthony Towns. You got D'Angelo Russell. You got my man McDaniels out of Washington, another guy who was a sleeper who just needs a green light, okay? Needs confidence. Really surprised they didn't go off of Cam Reddish, okay? This would have been a nice little piece, too, for them. They need a point guard, okay? They need a true point guard to really absolve his team, maybe a little bit different offensive lineup. So really keying in, these are my surprises. The Lakers at 7-8. Denver, the fact that they're injured and still in it. Dallas is a surprise, and definitely the biggest surprise for me is Memphis. All right, Memphis is crazy right now. Not sure how they got out that high, but much respect. And then honorable mention to Phoenix and your boys on Utah. It's definitely Phoenix still on top. Interesting. It's your boy Step Back, looking at the standings, stepping back on the West Coast. Next video will be East Coast to make it short and sweet. Congratulations to Phoenix. But I'm sorry, once Golden State's healthy, it's pretty much over. I'm out. Peace.